That same afternoon, JB gave me a call on my cell. Uh-oh. It was a very brief conversation. Just told me that she delivered all the materials she could on Isiru Makina to the Academy administration. Oh boy. In other words, if you want to know that badly, go ask Chizuru. Accordingly, I'm currently making my way to the principal's office. The sparkling floor of the hallway seems to have been thoroughly waxed recently, as every step I take produces a loud squeak. A modern take on the Nightingale floor, perhaps? What a reprehensible woman. Hello? Chizuru, you here?
ちょっと、愛人のアパートじゃないんだから、自分の部屋みたいに堂々と入ってこないでくれる？ノックをしなさいと何度言えば。
Shit, man. I can do whatever I want. Cause I'm a UG occupation student. I can do what I want. What difference does it make? Hurry up and take a shower. I'll be waiting.
あのね。
That's just a joke. You already know why I'm here, right?
そうやって大人の女をおもちゃにしていると、いつか罰が当たるわよ。
Oh, I feel like that day's a coming, but not right now. Am I? Well, feel free to elaborate on this theory next time I take you out to dinner.
食事に誘う気なんてないくせに。
I mean, you never know. You never know, might happen. It was an indirect way of saying I don't want to hear it. Too subtle for you?
本当に嫌な子ね。
I can't help it. We can't help it. JB got in touch, didn't she? Let me see the documents about Makina.
嫌です。
Wow. Okay. This is gonna take some persuading. That won't do. Now, how can I get you to show them to me?
あなたの私に対するこれまでの雑な扱いを謝罪して、今後はちゃんと先生の言うことを聞きますって言うなら見せてあげます。
Well, that's just a no can do. That's an abuse of authority, Chizuru.
そうですとも。職権でも何でも乱用しますよ。私だっていい加減頭にきてるんですからね。
She's like, I don't even give a flying fuck anymore. I see. And to justify the means, huh? Well, in that case, I guess I'll have to use every card I've got as well. That all right with you?
何をする気？
You see, I have a million trump cards. We don't talk about Trump. My master once beat a certain technique into me. A method guaranteed to make even the most stubborn woman spill her guts. It's a lengthy process, and frankly something of a pain to execute. But it seems I have no choice.
ちょっと待って。はい、質問です。
There's no timeouts in real life. Go on ahead.
それはエロスと何か関係が？
Tricky question. Interpretations tend to fairly widely depend on one's personal activities and proclivities. Come to think of it, back in the old days, I once made JB apologize to me in tears using the same method in question. She's never mentioned it?
確かあの子が甘い声を出しながら無茶なお願いをしてきたら走って逃げろとだけ言われた覚えが。
Well, she's probably about right, but I don't think that's gonna help you. Might be a little odd to do this myself, but that would probably be wise. If you're going to run, kick off those shoes first. With heels like those, I'll catch you so quickly it won't ever even be any fun.
痛いことしないわよね。
You'll have to find out, won't you? Come on, do I look like such a cruel man? If anything, in a few hours, you'll have a pleasant new perspective on the whole concept of pain. Nothing to worry about.
背筋を這い上がるような不安しか感じられないのはなぜかしら。
On that note, Chizuru, I've got some good news for you. For limited time only, we happen to be offering a special sale. Fork over Makina's dossier, and all the worries will disappear. Pretty nice deal, right?
わかったわよ。見せればいいんでしょ。見せれば。今用意するから少し待ってなさい。
God, we're so good. You have my sincere gratitude for your time.
資料といっても 大したものはないわよ。イリスさんの家は暗い部分が多くて、私だってハルデラさんに依頼してやっと手に入った情報なんだから。
As she speaks, Chizuru presses her thumb against a fingerprint scanner and unlocks a small safe installed in her cabinet.
政界の暗部に深く根付いてる家だけに、ハルデラさんのところでも限られた情報しか得られなかったみたいね。はい、これで全部。持ち出しは禁止だから、今ここで読んでいって。
Damn it, I wanted to read in my own time with a cup of coffee. Well, I guess I could get a cup of coffee in here. Also, that fingerprint scanner. The A4 size envelope she hands me has the words, Removal strictly forbidden, scratched across the front with in red pen. I'm not looking for intelligence on Isiru, you know. I'm only interested in information on the individual Isiru Makina.
イリス・マキナを知るということは、イリス家を知るということよ。何せ8年前のイリス家のお家騒動の中核にいたのが彼女なのだから。
Oh, I don't like the sound of any of that. Domestic feud?
私も詳しくは知らないし、その資料にも概要程度しか記されてはいないけれど、当時の当主とイリスさんのお父様の間で意見の対立があったそうよ。
Well, I suppose that's worth reading.
あなた、本気なの？イリスさんのこと。
What do you even mean by that?
イリスさんの父親になるなんて、随分と気楽に引き受けたみたいだけれど、あなたが思っているほど単純じゃないわよ。
Oh, I'm sure there will be heartbreak, there'll be all sorts of shit going on, but you know what, I'm gonna do it. You think I'm starting to understand that. I've got a vague feeling it's going to be much more troublesome of a job than I ever expected. Even so, if Makina needs me, I want to do what I can for her.
後悔するかもしれないわよ。
Alright. I'm well aware. But when and where it seems necessary, I take action first and sort out the pros and cons later. That's how dogs like us are trained. If you find someone who needs help in a place you're obligated to protect, just do what needs to be done. Simple as that.
無駄に力強いのはアメリカ仕込み？
Ah! Yeah, he did. How rude. I don't remember declaring I'm justice incarnate.
あんまりサムおじさんを怒らせない方がいいわよ。親会社なんでしょ。
Oh, America. You're just a bunch of fun to poke at. I hear that corporations where employees don't badmouth the higher-ups tend to go bankrupt in no time.
ああ言えばこういう。本当に口の減らない子ね。
Never gonna happen. I picked up my sharp tongue from the Americans.
まあいいわ。コーヒー入れてきてあげるから、ゆっくり読みなさい。
Fucking Americans always at the core of everything bad. Appreciate it. Yeah, okay. Just as Chizuru warned me, the documents inside the envelope can't be called detailed by any stretch of the imagination. The reports mainly focus on the history of the Isiru family, tracing their consistently flourishing enterprises from the pre-war area to today, describing their clan structure and naming the houses considered their closest allies. In particular, the careful analysis of the current major players' thought processes and religious ideologies, with an eye toward the risk they might pose to society, stands out as just the sort of meticulous work I'd expect from JB. Since the woman hates relying on personal impressions or speculation in her reports, it feels as though less reliable rumors have been intentionally omitted. While the information that's here appears solid, I can't deny that there isn't very much of it. The directly relevant material begins with a biography of Makina's grandfather, or former bureaucrat in the Ministry of Finance. Apparently, he was something of a social climber, joining the family by marrying the daughter of a superior. Okay. Makina's own father likewise married into the family and took their name, but the real power in the Isiru clan was in the hands of his wife and mother-in-law. Alright? And those women, essentially the shadow leaders of the Asiru enterprises, made use of their enormous influence to enrich their family through arrangements tinted an extremely dark shade of gray. When Makina's father realized that he'd been an unwitting participant in a large-scale corruption, he took the Asiru's secret account book and tried to come into contact with Naicho, but...
事件に巻き込まれて死亡した。
Finishing the sentence as my voice trails off, Chizuru reaches out to offer me a steaming mug of coffee.
その事件というのがイリス・正隆氏の娘イリス・マキナの誘拐事件というわけ。
I see. Accepting the mug from Chizuru, I continue flipping through the documents. A group of criminals who kidnapped Makina off the street on her way back from the language class submitted a ransom demand directly from her father to her father. Just as they instructed, Mr. Masataka headed to the designated spot alone with the money, but was shot to death as he made the handoff.
使用された弾丸は未登録の9ミリ拳銃から発射されたもので、事件発生から8年経った今でも犯人につながる有効な手がかりは得られていない。
Following the murder, Siru Makina was eventually rescued from the scene after spending 6 days there?
そういうこと。犯人グループに拘束されたまま放置されたイリスさんは6日もの間父親の亡骸と同じ部屋に監禁された結果、
God, that would scar anyone for life, I feel like. Just seeing your dead dad just there for 6 days, watching them decompose and
救
oh.
出された時には体力的に限界を迎えていたのはもちろんのこと、精神的にもすっかり失調していたそうよ。
So that's why she was hospitalized.
今のイリスさんに見られる言動の異常はその事件が原因だったと言われているわ。入院前のイリスさんはそれこそ神童と呼ばれるほどの天才児だったという話ね。
Well, we already knew that she wasn't stupid. Like, she just acts derpy. She's actually really smart.
それが事件後は言葉も話せないような状態が2年も続いたそうで、イエスかノーか答えられるようになるのにさらに1年、自分の考えを言葉にできるようになるまで2年、人間らしい感情が戻るのに1年、今のように話せるようになったのもここ数年のことのようね。
I see. Shutting the Manila folder, I slip it back into the envelope and return it to Chizuru.
もういいの？
Yeah, I got the general idea. No need to keep going.
もう見たくない？
Maybe later. Maybe later. What's that supposed to mean?
イリスさんの過去はあなたの過去にも通じる部分があるでしょ。だから辛い過去を思い出すんじゃないかって。ごめんなさい。
Is that the reason you were so reluctant to show me this?
そうね。できればそういう過去はあまり思い出してほしくはないわね。
Listen, my past is my own. And we won't know till the next game. Denying the past doesn't change who you are today. And thanks to my master, I'm still standing.
ごめんね。変なこと聞くけど、生きていてよかったってそう思えることがあなたにはあるかしら。
Well, I've got myself through plenty of situations where death might have been an easier choice. Guess I've been trained well enough to treasure survival for its own sake. Also, I still haven't found the reason I was born, and I haven't even begun to repay the kindness of the woman who saved my life. So in that sense, too, I'm glad I haven't ended up dead yet.
そう。
Yet. Sorry for asking the unreasonable. I drained the coffee Chizuru brewed for me into the dregs in a single gulp, then placed the empty cup on her desk. Kind of a shame, though. You went out of your way to show me the dossier, but there was only one piece of information in the whole thing beyond what I'd already expected.
その情報って？
I'm a little surprised that Makina has a little sister. I was positive that girl was an only child. Me too.
妹さんといっても父親が違うらしいし、姉妹的な感覚はあまりないのかもしれないわね。
Well, before that, the idea of Makina as a big sister just seems wrong somehow.
確かに。
It really does, though. After thanking the principal for the information and her coffee, I promptly leave the office. As I stroll slowly down the hallway toward our classroom, I reconsider the intelligence once more. So I look up at the sky. In the end, the information directly concerning Makina herself accounted for maybe a 15th of the total at best. In childhood, she was apparently so talented as to earn the label of prodigy. Hard to believe when looking at the airhead doofus we know today. But when you give the matter careful thought, some faint remnants of that brilliance have been in evidence every once in a while. Yep. From a very young age, Makina was raised reverently as a child genius, but most of her family was only really interested in converting that talent into hard cash. Same story everywhere you look, I guess. In a house filled with people who viewed her as nothing more than a tool, Makina's one and only true ally was her father. Isiro Masataka, there we go, was an up-and-coming future elite who'd earned suburb grades at a top-flight national university, but unfortunately happened to suffer from a distinctly timid and ambitious personality. And ever since meeting Makina's mother in his school days, she'd apparently exercised an absolutely dominating influence over him. Given how faint of heart the man was by nature, it's easy to imagine how anguished and torn he must have been when he discovered his family's deep involvement in large-scale corruption. In the end, he must have decided to live honestly for Makina's sake, even if it meant betraying the rest of his new family. But that was a mistake. Far too many important people would have found themselves in a seriously disadvantageous position if the Asiru clan's records were to be made public. Whoa! Oh god. You can't do that to me in a really quick game. Most likely, the for-profiting kidnapping was a ruse devised by his own family, using his daughter as bait only to kill him right in front of her eyes. A clueless bystander in all this, Makina was left tied up in a prison for 6 days with her father's rotting corpse. Hardly surprising that her mind would be deeply damaged. I can't speculate on why they chose to sacrifice the main family's eldest daughter, but after the incident, Makina was removed from her natural position as the future leader of the clan. On paper, she's undergoing continuing medical care for an undisclosed illness, but in reality, she's been effectively disowned. Her younger sister's been given her place as the family's heiress. Her beloved father, the only ally she ever had in the world, died before her eyes. And then she was thrown out of her house as an unwanted child, huh? Pretty shit luck all around. That said, I'm not about to let myself pity the girl. To be perfectly honest, this all sounds like a massive pain in the ass. On a purely practical level, it'd probably be wisest not to get too deeply involved. But running away at this point would be far too irresponsible. Misfortune isn't so unusual. I had my share. The world's got quite a few people who didn't grow up under pleasant circumstances in it. But I was lucky enough to eventually meet my master, a person who decisively changed my life for the better. Her help became a huge turning point for me. If someone were to ask me now how I feel about my life, I could probably answer, I'm happy enough, in all sincerity. Staying alive is a good thing in itself. As long as you keep going, someday you'll find happiness. Someday you'll become useful to someone. The day will come when you earn someone's gratitude. That's why I'm still going. It was my master that gave me the strength of will to believe in these things. Oh my god. We're getting deeper into this territory. I close my eyes, inhale deeply, and ask myself the crucial question once more. Can I really do something for Makina like my master did for me? I looked at those documents in an attempt to understand the thing I wanted to protect. but I was also slightly uneasy about knowing the truth, and that it might complicate or weaken my determination. Unfounded worries. I'm not going to give an inch. Not 1 inch. Maybe the real reason I looked over that dossier was to confirm my confidence in myself. Ooh, there's no problem. Kazama Yuji, occupation student, can't do everything well, but there's nothing he can't do at all. Damn right. And if I'm not good at something, I can just take the time to improve. I'm not half bad at that sort of sober effort. Finally reaching this conclusion, I realize that I've been standing still in the hallway for some time, lost in thought. I glance at the watch on my wrist. The time is 1657, 1600, almost 1700 hours. When 5 in the afternoon approaches, I still can't help thinking, which direction's the flag again? Old habits die hard. I casually look out the window with a wry smile on my face, only to find my classmates approaching the school gate with hoes and small shovels in their hands. Oh, right. It was gardening class. By nurturing something, you gain confidence in yourself, taking on a moderate responsibility that leads to visible fruits of your labor. Helps encourage independence, on top of which you're making a useful contribution to society. That's the general idea behind the horticultural lessons at Miyahama Academy. Of course, we're raising broadly competent individuals with exposure to everything from information technology to agriculture is also a nice line for the brochures. But if you look at it a little differently, the school is sort of like a barbecue joint that also offers sushi and ramen. Feels vaguely shady. Yeah, it does. They've already finished up their lesson at the farm we borrow for this purpose, and all that's left now is putting away the tools. A little strange for me to join in this late in the game. Still, I make my way toward the front entrance. Like how we didn't even fucking care, man. We weren't even there. Hey, Makina, just you?
Oh, Papa, どこ行ってたのよさ?
Oh, Makina, you're had a minor errand to take care of. I went to see Chizuru.
ああ、そうかよ。まあ、あれな。たまにはいろんなもん突っ込んでやんないと、地図の下水管も詰まっちまうしな。ご苦労さんなのよさ。
Yeah, sure. Sure, that's exactly what I was doing. You're as foul-mouthed as a Marine, I swear. Omne wouldn't be pleased to hear you talking like that, you know? Where's your mom anyway?
あまねえならあそこ。
Makina points behind her, indicating a red tractor that's making its way toward a storage building on the edge of the school grounds. A white towel rolled around her neck and a big straw hat on her head. Omne laughs merrily in the driver's seat and smoothly shifts gears from turquoise to hair. Huh. That sort of thing really suits her, doesn't it?
あまねえはタイヤとエンジンがついてる乗り物なら何でも大好きだしね。
I could tell from when she went crazy and behind the wheel that one time. So what happened to the others?
ユミちゃんは作業日報を書いて先生に提出に行ってる。チルチルは授業が終わって、あとは帰るだけって段階で用水路に落っこちたから、シャワーを浴びに行ってるのよ。
I'm not actually surprised that something bad happened to Michiru. How do you just fall in a ditch? You're not looking? What's with that girl's pathological bad luck? Must have been a real monster in a past life. Well, whatever. Where's Sachi?
サッチンはあそこ。
Over there, being awesome. Sachi, her back turned to us, seems to be vigorously washing her hands in a nearby water fountain. In maid uniform, as always. Was it really that bad?
なんかすっげえ必死に手洗ってんだけど、やつはああいう病気なの?
Like, germaphobe?
落ちない。落ちない。
No, that's not the one I'm thinking of. There's another one. What is it? The girl abstemiously continues scrubbing away at her hands, quietly mumbling lines that wouldn't be out of place in some low-budget horror movie. Can't deny it's a vaguely blood-curdling little scene. For some reason, just listening to her voice makes it sound oddly sexual in a way. Maybe I'm just a little too sensitive.
そうでもねえんじゃね。私にもなんだかレイプされた女が公園の水飲み場で泣きながらマッコ洗ってるみたいに聞こえるのよさ。
Oh my god. I mean, that did cross my mind. That does sound like what it sounds like, but oh my god. Did you actually have to come out and say that? I went out of my way to have a nice Van Vague, you know, so.
そうかい？そいつはごめんよ。
Again, this is why I need to keep a newspaper around so I can whap you in the head.
何やら私に関しての不穏当なささやきが聞こえてきたのですが。
Oh boy. Yes, we in fact heard everything. Well, we were just wondering why you were washing your hands so frantically, I guess.
ああ、手についてしまった木作液の匂いがなかなか落ちなかったんですよ。
Oh, vinegar is hard. Once vinegar is in, it's hard to take it out. I see. Sachi holds out her hands to demonstrate. There's still a faint scent reminiscent of burned lumber lingering on her skin.
サッチンは手を洗ってるだけなのに無駄に陰猥なエロメイドなのよさ。
Why you stop calling your classmates sluts? Oh my god. Sachi, my friend, feel free to flip out.
風見さんは普通のメイドとエロメイドなら後者の方がお好きですよね。
Well, I mean, they just have the added benefit of being very ambiguous, sexually ambiguous, and getting the work done. Indeed, a slutty maid would definitely be nicer to have around the place.
じゃあいいです。もうエロメイドで。
Are you fucking serious right now?
じゃあ私はエロ娘で。
No, you're not. Well, I maybe? Do you even know what you're saying anymore? Shaking my head as Makina cackles innocently, I happen to glance down and notice that she's got a single plant in a plain clay pot sitting at her feet. What the hell's that thing?
リン
Apple?
ゴゴリラ。
Oh, what? Trumpet! Wait, were we playing the word chain game? I think not.
今日ね、先生にリンゴの苗をもらったのよ。だから植えてみたのよさ。
So I take it because this is the Fruit of Grisaia that this is Makina's fruit, if you will, is an apple. An apple seedling, huh? Isn't raising an apple tree actually really hard?
確かに簡単ではないようですけれど、マキちゃんが植えたものは単木で受粉が可能な品種だそうで、比較的手がかからないそうですよ。
Oh man, yeah, apple trees are kind of hard.
今はちびっこい苗木でも、数年後には真っ赤な小玉リンゴが鈴なりなのよさ。
Many bright apples, and we'll eat all those apples and make them into pies and shit.
そのまま食ってよし、ジャムにしてよし、パイのフィリングにしてよし。
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking of the pie. I love pie.
想像すると笑いが止まらないのよさ。実がなったらパパにも食べさせてあげるね。
Oh, I see. Well, that's something to look forward to. Before I knew it, I'm reaching my hand out for Makina's head. Pushing my fingers through her fuzzy mass of hair, I roughly scratch at the scalp underneath. The girl half closes her eyes and makes a strange little purring grunt sound. Was class fun?
おうよ、ドロンコプレイは大好きなのよ。
You guys were mud wrestling? God damn it. Mud wrestling?
つまり土いじりのことです。マキちゃんは都会っ子の割には平気で田んぼにも入りますし、放っておけばキャーキャー言いながらずっと一人で遊んでるんですよ。
It's probably not the best thing to do, especially if we want to keep her clean. Like, oh my god, we gotta keep an eye on her all the time.
パパー、ドロンコ気持ちいいよ。べちょべちょのドロンコもっとぐちょぐちょにかき回して。ドロンコラーメン、おほー。
Makina, you were literally rolling around in mud. Okay, I get that you love mud, but that just now was really cutting it close in a lot of ways. No, maybe over the line entirely. And cut it out with the, oh, you sound like a constipated yak.
ちなみにですが、私も園芸の授業は大好きですし、今日もとても楽しかったです。
I'm sure everyone had fun except for, but you wait, where's, where, that's good. Oh, something wrong? Smiling brightly and saying nothing, Sachi thrusts out her cranium in my direction. What's this supposed to be? She's asking me to pet her head, I guess? I don't entirely understand, but... Oh. Just like I did for Makina, I grab hold of Sachi's head, stick my fingers between her hair, and scratch away vigorously. Apparently this tickles more than the girl had expected, as she responds uncharacteristically with a high-pitched little squeal.
私も楽しかったのよさ。
Oh my god, where did you fucking pop up from? Whoa! All of a sudden, Naminé popped out of thin air. While doing a decidedly grating imitation of Makina's voice, she pokes her head toward me just like the others. What the hell is this? Don't tell me someone's been spreading rumors about the mystical power of my head pats of improving grades or something. 'Cause it's true. When a woman this massive thrusts her head at me, it almost feels like I'm being charged by a water buffalo. But judging it wisest not to express this thought, I simply reach out for Aminé's head, pushing my fingers through her mane, and I firmly scrape my fingernails against her scalp. That makes it sound bad. There you go.
やば、これ気持ちいいぞ。癖になるかも。
Oh god, now everyone's gonna be addicted to these head pats. So ridiculous. You're not going to get any smarter from this, you know. And don't say, oh, damn it.
あ、ユージ、もうどこ行くのよ。
I wasn't done, damn it. Classes are over for the day. I'm going back to the dorm. Fuck this.
待ってよパパ、一緒に帰ろうよ。
What if I just want to go by myself? As if I can walk while dragging this swarm of women behind me. Give me a damn break.
今なんて
It's a murder of women. Nothing. Talking to myself.
やれやれ、とんだツンデレ野郎ですね。
I've already accepted that this is my way of life, being a tsundere.
マキナと二人っきりの時はニコニコしながら手つないで歩いてたくせに。
Then listen, you can't prove that.
ツンデレなのですから、二人きりの時は出れるのが普通なのでしょう。だ、いいもんね。ほら、マキナおいで。私が手つないであげるから。
Let mommy hold your hand.
ありがとう。
I like to think I've gotten used to this place by now, but when I'm faced with this strange sort of female solidarity, you know, the whole group bathroom visits kind of thing, I have to admit I still don't entirely fit in. Forming a tight clump, the girls conduct a whispered conversation of some sort. All I make out is some cryptic muttering along the lines of, I guess Sakagi's the only one left to go. Only a few minutes ago, I boasted that there's nothing I can't do, but there are definitely things I'm never going to be particularly good at. Even so, maybe there will come a day when I'll look back and be sincerely thankful I had something like this in my life. Maybe. Probably. Who knows? Who knows what might happen? Oh, only crazy things happen on the schoolyard. On my way back from my morning run, I hear a cuckoo singing in our courtyard. I've just hit my stopwatch when that simple but magnificent call seizes my attention. Keeping very still, I scan the nearby trees in an attempt to find the bird, but he proves highly elusive. I can hear his voice clearly enough, but can't even catch a single glimpse of the animal itself. Quite an impressive little ambush. This actually isn't the first time something like this has happened to me. I think it was on the way back from a class outing at my previous school. Yeah, class outing. We'd been squeezed tightly onto hard benches in the canopied bed of a truck for hours, barely able to fidget without wedging an elbow into someone's gut. My ass was really starting to scream because it hurt so much. Finally, someone shouted out that we were taking a bathroom break at this big rest stop at the foot of the mountain. Then the truck slowed to a halt. Eagerly leaping out to escape the the stinking heat, I stretched my legs for the first time in hours. Then set out for a water fountain to refill the canteen hanging at my waist. Halfway there, I heard a cuckoo. I carefully looked through the trees above for a nest, but I couldn't find anything for the longest time. Just when I was about to give up, I made an anticlimactic discovery: a small speaker. The thing was fixed with a wire onto the branch of a nearby tree. The bird song I'd been hearing was nothing but a recording. I remember dropping my shoulders in disappointment, smiling wryly. That's fucking weird. But just as I'm starting to wonder if something similar might be going on here, I finally pick out a single songbird high up in the branches of a tree on the edge of the courtyard. I actually sigh with relief. The real deal this time, huh? With the authenticity of the song resolved, I just stand there listening for a while. This bird has a hell of a powerful voice. Feels like my soul's being washed clean. The light sense of fatigue I'd built up on my mini marathon seems to vanish like that, chased off by the invigorating little song. But despite this refreshing start to the morning, things quickly take a sour turn. I return to my room only to find Suo Amne holding her sides and guffawing loudly as Isiro Makina waves her stumpy little fists indignantly in the air. What? What is happening? Makina just getting so irritated. Oh, you're still angry, Makina?
そりゃね、自転車の乗り方を教えてくださいって言ったのは私だよ。確かに言いましたともさ。でもね、初めて自転車に乗った女の子、後ろから力いっぱい全力で押すってどうなのよさ。
That's how you learn, damn it. That's, well, I mean, not the first time. That's not supposed to happen, but when teaching someone to ride a bike, I think helping out with a shove on the saddle is perfectly normal.
そうね、やり方は間違っちゃいないよ。でもね、加減を間違えちゃいませんかって私はそう言ってんのよ。ね、なんであんな力いっぱい押すかな。
Well, I figured a decent initial velocity would help prevent a geoscopic effect and make it easier to keep your balance.
だからってあんなビューンってすることないじゃん。
So angry.
で、そのまま木に激突したんだって？
It's pretty great, actually. I was laughing. I told the girl to brake. Not my fault she didn't listen.
かけたよ。ブレーキかけたよ。でも下が砂利だったのよさ。ブレーキかけてもそのままズガーって、そんでガシャンだよ。
Oh, we got a lot to learn about.
しかもそんだけじゃないのよさ。もう一回練習だって言ってまたビューンって押して。
Just get up. And then, why were we on gravel? That's not a very steady place to be.
校庭の砂場に突っ込んで前輪を砂に飲まれてそのまま顔面から着地したんだっけ？
I feel like I was really doing this for my own amusement in all seriousness.
そんだけじゃないのよさ。もう一回もう一回って言いながら近寄ってきて嫌がる私を自転車に乗せたかと思えばまたビューンって。
God, we're teaching in our own way, I guess.
そんで何？今度は自転車に乗ったまま階段に突っ込んでまたがったまま下り降りたんだって？
Oh God. How'd Makina not get severely injured from that one?
香港のアクション映画撮ってんじゃねえんだぞっつーの。殺す気か。
I mean, you never know, that might happen. You know, you look like Amine when you flip out like this.
そう？じゃあ今から私怒るから比べてみる？
No, please don't get mad.
つかさ、初心者相手に厳しすぎない？あんたにとっちゃ悪ふざけのつもりかもしれないけど、マキナが怪我したらどうすんのよ。
If she gets hurt, so what? She'll learn from it. and learn never to get hurt again. She had protectors on her knees and elbows and a helmet covering her head. Not a problem.
でもさ、もっとこう補助輪つけて練習するとかさ。
Fuck training wheels. Those things only get in the way. What's the point of training if you're going to gift wrap positive results and remove risk from the equation entirely? Roll through life like that, and you'll just freeze up in a panic. When you face a real crisis, better to acquire the ability to see danger coming ahead of time through painful experience, don't you think?
そう言われるとな。転んで上手くなるってのは二輪車の宿命みたいなもんだけど、人並みに乗る分にはそこまでしなくても十分だと思うけど。
Amne, do you have a second?
何さ。
Just come with me, alright? Makina, you stay here.
パ
I gotta talk with Mommy for a second. You just wait here a minute, Makina. We'll be back soon. Amne, my friend, there's something I need you to clarify for me.
何よ。
The other day you said you were going to become Makina's mother, right? Were you actually serious about that?
それってどういう意味で？
Well, just answer the question. I wanna ask you to play that role.
そりゃ構わないけど。
It doesn't mean we're gonna be doing anything freaky. In that case, when you disagree with me, stick to your opinion. Don't let me talk you out of it.
ごめん、意味わかんない。どういうこと？
I want to make Makina decide which of our opinions are correct for herself.
ああ、そういうことか。
When you raise a kid by spoon feeding them the right answer to every single problem, they end up narrow-minded and inflexible. When their parents disagree, children learn to think about who's correct on their own, right?
なるほどね。あんた結構考えてんだ。じゃあ、マキナに意地悪したのもわざと？
We were doing all that on purpose. No, not really. It was just gut-bustingly hilarious watching her thrash around like that. Never mind.
ひどいな。
Not on purpose. Well, if I'm a terrible father, you'd better shoot down everything I had to say. Got it?
わかった。
Alright. Sorry, Makina, but I have no intention of changing my instructional methods. Training to deal with all sorts of dangers is valuable experience that'll help you protect yourself from going forward. Protect yourself going forward.
ダメよ、マキナ。怪我したらどうするの？あんたは女の子なんだよ。自転車なんて普通に乗れればそれでいいの。
Here we go. This is how it's supposed to be. Makina, don't take riding a bicycle slightly. They're not toys, you know, even if a little bike like that is a light vehicle in the eyes of the law. Falling off and scraping your knee is one thing, but when you're sharing the road with others, the clumsiness might end up getting someone else hurt. Above average skill in controlling a vehicle is never a bad thing to have.
しまった。その意見は私も同意見だ。
Damn it! I mean, that's okay.
でも、だったらそれこそ無理して自転車乗る必要なんてないじゃない。
Wait. Okay,
今まで乗らずに生きてこれたってことは、今後もマキナは自転車に乗らなくても生きていけるって証拠だよ。どっか行きたいところがあるなら、私が車でもバイクでも出すし。
she just turned this around completely. Well, okay, I guess. Hamne, my friend, depriving the girl of the freedom that comes with riding a bicycle is downright tyrannical and short-sighted. Makina's got a long life ahead of her, and nobody can say how it's going to play out. For all we know, the girl might one day encounter a situation where her ability to ride a bike proves the difference between life and death. Foreshadowing.
どんな場面だよそれ。私はただマキナが怪我しないか心配なだけよ。
Like how... Look at Makina just like... Ooh, just looking at us. Sometimes an injury today saves life 10 years down the line. Tell me, Makina, which opinion sounds correct to you?
パパの意見が正しいような気がすんだけど、でも痛いのは嫌だし、
I hear the gears a turning in her brain.
そんじゃさ、私が自転車の乗り方教えてあげよっか。私なら自動二輪の免許も持ってるし、教えるの上手だよ。
You also drive like a fucking maniac.
お、確かにそれはいいアイデアなのかもしれないのよさ。
Not to boast, but I've got a license that's valid for anything on two wheels. Naturally, I picked up the MOS as well.
モス？
It's a qualification you need to use motorbikes at my job. They don't hand it out to just anybody either. The skill standard is a lot higher.
だからさ、たかが自転車でそこまで本気になることないじゃん。
Listen, you boasted your light motorcycle license. Didn't I just say that not to take riding bicycles lightly when you're operating a vehicle that poses potential risks, not to just oneself, but to yourself and and to others? You should damn well know what you're doing.
喧嘩するなよ。
We just start thinking, okay, Makina, what's it gonna be? You gonna learn from me or from Amane? It's your call.
二人に習うってのはダメなの？
Well, like swap places every now and then?
あ、それいいじゃん。まず第一段階として学園敷地内で私が基本を教えて、第二段階でユージが路上教習するってのは？
Oh, so I'll get her when she's learned the basics and then I throw her to the dogs. Sounds like every new job ever. True enough. There's no need to restrict the girl to a single instructor. Helps provide a more balanced perspective, after all. Sounds good to me, but are you sure about this, Amane?
私もいいよ。どうせ明日から夏休みで暇だし。
Oh, summer vacation starts tomorrow, bruh! It's already that time of year, huh? Holy shit, I didn't expect that. Might come to a bit surprised, but my employer is an absolute stickler on the principle of academic achievement. Practically everyone looking to move up the ranks uses their off time to cram for exams. And in the case of employees who are assigned to special posts such as myself, anyone who hopes to get promoted isn't just studying, but also working to gain recognition for their physical prowess. In addition to the daily exercise routine, your days off are typically spent on special training regimens. Every spare minute you have is devoted to forging your body and mind, and the rest of your time goes to eating, sleeping, and very little else. To me, summer vacation is nothing more than one very long independent study period.
それじゃあ、皆さんお待ちかねの通知表を配ります。
Oh, fucking sweet! I bet I got all A's. In a somewhat theatrical gesture, the principal taps a stack of thick, neatly folded paper against her lectern to align their edges, then surveys the classroom with a big smile plastered on her face. As she calls out her names one by one, everyone comes to the platform in turn and accepts their card respectively, but there's quite a range of expressions on their faces as we do so. Sakaki takes her card indifferently, apparently either unconcerned or just uninterested because she's a fucking smart cookie, so it doesn't really matter. Amane receives hers with a vaguely apprehensive expression, her brow slightly furrowed because she's kind of not the brightest bulb in the shed, probably. Michiru, not even attempting to hide her revulsion, grimaces as though she's just had a slimy snake dropped in her hand because she's an idiot. And Makina grins from ear to ear like an unnourished child taking chocolate from a GI in a Jeep. Because she's a super genius, and Sachi bows deeply, strongly resembling a white-collar worker, accepting a business card from the chief executive of a major client. Because it's Sachi. You give her something to do, she'll do it. And finally, I take mine with the studied nonchalance of a grunt taking his new position for the latter half of his new term from the division commander. But when you get a report card handed to you, it's only human to be curious about its contents. And as we look over our evaluations, there's another wave of varied reactions around the classroom. Figured as much. Sakagi glances over her report card without so much as twitching an eyebrow. Looks as though the results are exactly what she anticipated. All A's, guaranteed. Oh boy. Apparently something in Amane's hit a little too close to home. judging from her wry smile, the way she's playing with her hair, and the way... So I'm guessing Amine's like the C average, and Michiru's the idiot. A hard and digestible chunk of pitiless reality forced down her throat. Michiru does her best to fight back the rising tide of gastric juices.
No way.
Well, so much for the super genius. Her euphoria of only a few moments was completely gone. Makina scowls at her card and mumbles, "Seriously, man?" in a deploring tone of voice. Yeah, Sachi's okay. Clearly finding the results she wanted inside, Sachi nods deeply in silence, then softly claps her hands together in a round of applause for herself. Alright, as for my report card, on the 5-letter scale from A to F, I'm almost entirely in the B range. Oh, he's me! I get only B's! The only exceptions are 2, as in 2 A's. I read that as 2 A's in physical fitness and science. And 2 C's in social etiquette and personal conduct. Okay, so we balance out. Personal conduct and social etiquette. Oh boy. I'm initially a little nonplussed at that mediocre personal conduct grade, given that I don't smoke, gamble, or drink, but after reading the brief comment scribbled in red pen, to wit, "The heroic act is nice, but if you're not careful, your treatment of the opposite sex is going to cause you a lot of grief." I have to admit, I more or less understand where they're coming from. In fact, this isn't the first time I've been written up for problematic habits regarding women. My employer routinely has superiors put together departmental evaluations, commonly used as references for your next posting or attempts at career advancement. They're pretty thorough documents running through your academic progress and personal conduct, covering the results of all sorts of inspections and opinions on your overall suitability as an employee. But when the superior writing the report happened to be a female, let alone JB, there would always be at least one angry scribble to the effect of "serious issues with women," invariably punctuated with an exclamation mark. I mean, it's not like I'm a playboy or a misogynist. If anything, my coworkers ridiculed me as an introvert. I always endeavor to be considerate toward women. But for some reason, my attitude seems to be frequently misinterpreted.
それではこれで1学期の授業はすべて終了となります。
Holy shit, that was all just the first semester!
明日からの夏休みには実家に帰省される方や寮に残留される方もおられるでしょうが、皆さん各自目標を立てて計画的に過ごしてください。院長、号令を。起立。
Alright. At Sachi's ceremonial command, everyone stands up at once. At the bow command, we all lower our heads and shout, "Thank you very much." The principal offers us a nod and a brief, "Yes, I'll see you next semester," then leaves the classroom. I thought this sort of bowing and scraping was an elementary and middle school thing. I guess our attitude toward learning is a little different here, or maybe the ceremony itself carried a different nuance at my old schools.
ねえ、パパ、私の通知表を見て。
Oh, I don't even wanna. Let's see here. Smiling from ear to ear, Makina thrusts her report card in my face as if to smash it against my nose. I pull my head back as I actually get a look. Makina's card consists of a large border with a vivid red cherry blossom design framing the words "Let's try harder" in huge bold letters. Underneath that stamp, there's a brief comment that seems to have been written by the principal herself. Receptivity into the influence of others is proof of a curious mind, but please make an effort to acquire a little more common sense. Start by working on your manner of speaking. So I'm not the only one who earned an exclamation mark. Oh, isn't this something? Makina's bizarre mode of speech isn't anything new, but the principal has a point. Not gonna fly if the girl goes out into the world and tries to get a job. And that's not the only problem. Just from my casual observations, her handwriting's sloppy and she's terrible with her chopsticks. In many small but significant ways, she's lacking in the skills expected of a normal member of society. But acquiring common sense is much easier said than done when you're spending all your time in an isolated school like this. Common sense and lack thereof are concepts that exist only in relation to your environment. What's she supposed to learn from the guy with a C in social etiquette? That said, looking around the room, I can't find a single person who doesn't exhibit a severe lack of common sense. I think I'm developing a stomachache.
ちょっと、それは聞き捨てならないわね。私はこれでも一応、周囲からは美浜の常識人として認められているつもりなんだけど。
Yeah, that doesn't really bode well for really anything. Are you sure about that?
何がよ。
Let me pose you a hypothetical question. If Makina were to go out into the world and conduct herself just as you have, what would people think of her? For example, if they observed Makina declaring her love at first sight for some man she didn't even know, then proceeding to rub her chest against him while snorting roughly through her nose, would they accept that as normal?
それは、だって。
We just annihilated her. I'm pretty sure they would pin her as a horny, slightly dim-witted Lolita type. And while this might very well meet with the enthusiastic, tearful approval of a certain minority given to particular tastes, could you really call any society that accepts such a viewpoint as common sense anything but pathological abnormal?
確かにまあ、
We're like putting Amine in her place. You know, Amine, my friend, it's extremely easy to delude ourselves into believing we possess this common sense, and everyone else doesn't. But remember, no one shouts, "I don't get drunk," quite as confidently as an alcoholic. For example, while I'm currently talking down to you like my shit doesn't stink, I'm on objective examination. I'm forced to admit that I have no right whatsoever to lecture anyone about common sense.
なんかよくわかんねえけど、とりあえず腹減ったから続きは飯食いながら話さねえ。
Makina's like, I don't really understand what's happening. Can we just eat?
まあ、常識云々はさておき、まずはこの言葉遣いから何とかしてあげないとね。
Yeah, that is probably on top of the list. I'm with you there. So look up at the sky. Japanese is an unusually difficult language, or if you prefer, a tongue in uniquely rich and expressive power, and spending a lot of time overseas as a child can leave you thinking in a foreign language. Even when speaking Japanese, you end up translating foreign words into your head on the fly as you talk, a process that supposedly makes it very easy to badly mangle your syntax and grammar, but still. What are you even talking about, Makina? Man, I wish I knew other languages, but, like, at the same time, I know I don't have the patience to, like, I mean, you can learn a lot just from just playing visual novels and such as much as, like, for a long time, because you learn Japanese or even some, a little Chinese here and there, and whatever language it tends to be in, if it's voiced, because you just hear over and over and over and over, you eventually just learn. But like if I'm just sitting there like purposely trying to learn, I can't do it. It's too boring for me. I can't. I mean, I understand learning another language is cool, but I just can't.